obviously we've looked at Sylvanas' loot, but let's look at what the fight actually looks like.
Yes, it is time for the lore section of the show, which is going to be really fun.
So we don't have anything that would I would consider like a major spoiler here or anything. There are definitely spoilerific elements if you don't want to know what the fight looks like. Come back in maybe 5-10 minutes maybe, because we really don't want to, but we will get like deep into speculation on what occurs and where we think it's going after this.
Yeah, so players battle against Sylvanas atop Torghast while the jailer remains elusive. Now, I think the broad narrative, at least of the last section of this raid, is we are chasing the jailer and Sylvanas is trying to stop us from getting to him. So that's what's going on.
Yeah, so
in phase 1, we're doing that. I think it's as we get to phase 2 and phase 3, the things get a bit bigger.
Yeah, I think there's... I'm just weak to like really cool sounding subtitles and things. Maybe my history is a weeb, I don't know. But it's just stage 1, a cycle of hatred. I was like, okay, where are you going with this? Stage 2, a monument to our suffering. Sylvanas chains all players and then destroys the tower itself.
Yeah, so I guess the top of Torghast just gets destroyed in an attempt to take us down.
She blows it up, loses her legs and starts flying around, I believe.
Yep, when she goes full Banshee mode. So I guess that would be us seeing like the in-game version of what she did in the BFA cinematic.
Yeah.
That'll be neat. And I imagine that will lead to a pretty neat like fight as Sylvanas like changes forms. So that'll be neat.
Yeah, no, there's something about like raid fights that whenever they're given enough sort of enough narrative weight, they feel absolutely incredible the first couple times. Because, I mean, I personally didn't care too much about anything we were doing in Nathria. But at the same time, whenever everything got dark and Remornia started scratching up the ground in the the Nathrius fight, I was like, my heart rate went up a couple beats. Like I was like, this is the kind of excitement I expect from a good fight. And Sylvanas' fight seems to be I really want to see it. It's so bad.
Yeah, so she does that, and then in stage 2, we're fighting her while Thrall and Jane are doing stuff.
Yeah, they're doing exactly what they did in the Broken Shore, of course, which is creating bridges out of elements, out of earth and ice, which is maybe a little bit weak overall, but fundamentally it's like, to do. It's always cool having those characters actually be useful instead of standing by the side and going, well, we're here if we're needed. Don't worry, we've got you. So, I mean, I'm not going to go into any of the mechanics of the fight, although they do seem really interesting.
Yes, they do.
And then stage 3, or the final bit, is called the freedom of choice, which is so weighted. It's so heavy. It means so much.
Yeah.
It means, compared to everything, I almost feel like that title in itself is a massive spoiler for, how this is going to go down, everything that'll happen after. But...
yeah,
it is the final showdown between death and inevitability in the jailer's master plan.
Yeah, and from what we understand, hang on, is it that? Yeah, there's not another phase.
Yeah, that's the last phase.
This takes place in Oribos, at the Arbiter's area, right?
So we are following. We seem to be going up the tower. We reach the top, the Sanctum of Domination, fight a load of stuff. Sylvanas is up there. She blasts it apart. The jailer's going up through the hole, through.
Is the jailer legit just doing a Superman? Just going, wee!
He very well might be. But so we've got what it looks like, and here's the top of the raid. Looks like this.
So fucking cool.
This is the tip of Torghast.
Let's put the cam on.
Of course, that would be smart. Sorry. So that's Torghast reaching through the piercing. There's chains seeming to be holding it open. And that leads us here.
Yeah.
Is this familiar?
Yeah.
Is this familiar in any way?
Finally, cool shit's happening.
Yep.
Spectacle. Big
Big
maneuvers, big things.
Yeah,
does Torghast, does it just go whoop?
Yes. Yeah.
Does he ride a humongous erecting Torghast up into Oribos? Which, we have all been joking that Oribos just looks like a big fleshlight, so that would be quite funny.
Oh, Jesus.
Maybe that's a bit too much imagery for chat, sorry.
Yep.
But yeah, so Torghast basically pierces the sky of the Maw, I guess, and I guess that is weird though, because it kind of looks like Torghast and then it mirrors to Icecrown.
Yeah.
So maybe they swap it over. So
that's what I was actually. I had to struggle with that for a bit because I was like, wait, no, if he's reaching out, that means he's going to be out in Azeroth, but clearly not. So I'm not super sure how that works, but it looks cool in the loading screen. So.
If we, I guess, go a little bit back to just the explanation.
Oh, the explanation.
Near the end. There, stage 3. So the final showdown between death and the inevitability of the Jailer's master plan. So Shadowlands is over now? Obviously it's not.
Yes.
But, Arthas had his big plan. His big plan was thwarted in the last patch of Wrath. The Jailer's big plan is going to happen now. He's won.
Yeah.
He's fucking rinsed us, right? Which would make sense when you've got absolute friggin' walnuts like the Archon being important, right? Like the Archon is just a pathetic, stupid loser, right? Archon's fucking stupid. And she never sees anything coming and is just completely like rigid and a bit boring. So, we've got these absolute, just honestly pretty useless Covenant leaders. Although maybe the Winter Queen will finally decide to descend down and do something. But they're. I mean, the Primus was obviously out of action. The Archon is completely blind to anything that's going on around her, it seems. The Winter Queen is the useful one. Denathrius was a big dickhead.
Yep.
So, like, all of our allies were stupid. It's no wonder that the Jailer managed to go get all the sigils he needed and execute his plan. And then that makes you wonder what in the hell is going to happen at the end of this raid. Because it is the Jailer's plan coming to fruition. Now, we then think, the Jailer's got a hole in his chest, the Arbiter's got, like, the hole in her chest with the thing. Is that the Jailer, like, is he going to go there and, like, claim the essence that was taken from him so that he can, go back and, reach the power level that he was supposed to be as an original Eternal? In which case then, like, he's in Oribos, he's in the Eternal City. Can he now rewrite the cosmos? Because that seems to be his bloody plan, right? Is to rewrite the cosmos. Does he do it now? Who knows? And then if you look at just around the skybox of Oribos, it's different. It's turned black.
It's different in this patch, yeah.
So, and I believe that it turning black is that what happens after the raid? I imagine it'll be a post-raid change.
I don't know if that's what happens after the raid, but that's what's in PTR now. If you're on Oribos, it does look like the Maw's actually... The Maw has
send it up.
Yeah, send it up. So I think that might be the first step. I can't imagine they would show us what happens after the raid just yet, because obviously I think that's going to be a very, very big moment, I think and hope.
Yeah, so in that case, it's like the Legion, World of Warcraft Legion, the problem of that expansion was the Legion were invading us.
Yeah.
We solved that problem in patch 7.2. Right? We used the Pillars of Creation. We did our thing. The only thing that allowed the Legion expansion to continue was Illidan being like, nah, mate, we've got to kill them completely. Let's go to Argus. So I think they want to do that again, right? Just that where we had Nighthold, we have nothing in this expansion. We kind of went straight to it. And to be honest with you, I think that is a good enough move because the Jailer is not a particularly interesting character, and I don't think there's anything in Shadowlands that is, feels as rich and interesting as the Nighthold, because the Nighthold worked because of Suramar. We spent so much time there before we actually went. This expansion doesn't have that, so they obviously just have to go straight to this, narratively speaking. And then I think that opens us up to something else, something big, something transformative for the Shadowlands, which would be exciting to me. Maybe something is discovered. I mean, what if, the Jailer tries to do his big plan and a first one stops him and it totally flips things about? Maybe that first one could be the new Space Satan, now that they've, done whatever they've done with...
Put the other Space Satan in jail.
Yeah, and in that case it would be interesting because what if, and somebody just said in chat, what if Zoval is right? So what if it is actually the case where we think Zoval is the bad, and by the way, Zoval is the bad guy and Sylvanas is an irredeemable, awful human. Not human elf, but, Anyone who just finds a soft target and destroys it to cause maximum death is obviously a bad, irredeemable person. So this is definitely, the bad guys are the bad guys. But what if it turns out that they are, a little bit more like the Scarlet Crusade?
Bad guys
And
for
that
good
they're...
reasons.
Yeah, it's like, they're bad guys. Are they right that the Scourge are a problem? Yes. Are they right in most of their actions? No. So what if it is like that? Some first one appears to maybe stop the jailer from undoing all of the first one's work. And maybe through that, we get to find a secret hidden realm of the Shadowlands, something totally new that could be like an Argus-sized patch, where perhaps this first one is actually some sort of big spooky villain. And maybe that would be a way for Blizzard to like re-establish a grand cosmic Sargeras tier threat in a way where, hopefully it could last for many, many, many expansions. That's just one idea. I'm not saying it's the best idea ever, but it's just trying to think of, Adam said soft. Whenever I say a soft target is like, attacking a civilian population center. So, I mean, it did have some defenses as a population center would, but it's kind of the point where there's not much military value in, I guess there is military value in wiping out all of your enemies, but, it's like not the done thing.
It's considered
militarily.
Unreasonable.
Yes. So I don't know, but it seems like Blizzard's plan is to just flip the whole thing on its head and give us something big. And I think that is the type of like big event that I think Shadowlands kind of needs to reinvigorate it for a lot of people, because I think a lot of the very academic and spread very just all over the place lore and fantasy of Shadowlands, I don't think that worked for people. But I think what would work for people is like, oh dear, humongous big threat appeared, now we all have to go on a big adventure. Instead of this way that they've done the last two expansions where, the plot is so broad and moves like this much forward, a tiny little smidge. I think what people really want to see is the big boom, here we go, boys. Which I hope is what this does, because that would be exciting.
Yeah, I mean, if that could, I remember, anything to go by with the whole whatever happens at the end of this will be, will change what we think about death in general. I think there's it's hard to tell where they could possibly go, but I mean, the jailer's supposed to be the final boss of Shadowlands, or so they've said. So,
oh yeah, he doesn't die.
Well, yeah, we don't fight him or anything.
Sylvanas,
yeah, we don't fight him or anything. We fight Sylvanas. God knows what happened to her, or if we have no idea. I imagine we do some serious harm if we get her bow and stuff, but hard to know. The raid bosses have done weirder before. But I mean, well, no, I suppose Gorehal doesn't count.
Well, there will be a big thing there. It will be whenever it seems Sylvanas is not going to win the fight against us. Yeah. Will Zoval Denathrius her and just be like, well, your part's done. I don't care about you. Take him, Alliance and Horde people. Take her, whatever. Or will the jailer be like, you're my favorite one. Come with me.